You're crazy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition, Bachelorette Finale Edition, all of the above. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you all enjoyed. Congratulations to Charity and Dotun, the happy engaged couple.
Woo!
Round of applause. Our next Bachelor, Joey.
Woo!
What's the pulse with Joey? I mean, short king, you know?
Is he short?
I think he's that short.
Relative to
Dotun.
to the rest of the Bachelor, I believe he's under 6 foot.
I want to say he's 5'11".
So for Bachelor, that's kind of a big deal. Yeah.
Wow.
What do we think? Are we excited?
They're going diverse into the short one.
in the short
Inclusivity.
Inclusivity.
Yeah.
We love
that short king love. I mean, he's
inclusivity.
not actually short, but are we excited? No, not. Yeah.
I feel like Golden Bachelor is kind of top of mind right now. You know,
Yes.
it's hard to feel as much excitement about Joey
Isn't
when
that
it's
a
like we got
problem?
Jerry in the wings.
But isn't that a problem?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe they need to like go back to the well, man. Like there just hasn't been a lot of hype.
Could
around,
they just pick someone
Like-
from like
I don't
like
know.
what if they pick Justin?
What if
What if they pick someone else besides Justin? They can go back into the well.
they need a Tyler Cameron? Tyler wouldn't do it, but
They need a Tyler Cameron.
But who else is there in
There's
the
not a lot-
well
well,
that they could pick
it
from
might-
that has
it-
the same type of excitement?
I don't think they've cultivated their talent well. Maybe Joey will surprise, you know? Seems nice.
He's 5'11" and 170 pounds, according to his college tennis website.
So he's 5'10".
Letting everybody know.
Yeah.
His college athletics lies by at least an inch. Mine says 6'3". I'm 6'2".
Wow.
So he's 5'10". Wow.
Wow. I want some tall women on this upcoming season of The Bachelor.
Ooh,
Yes.
I want representation. I want some 6'1" women.
Yes, 100%. Absolutely.
They're out there. They're
Put on your
wonderful.
heels.
I live with one of them. Let's get some representation. I do think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, our special guest, you heard him. Justin Glaze is with us. Welcome back, Justin.
Thank you.
You're
Happy to
not
be here.
necessarily the focal point of this episode, which is a blessing. You're here to
Perfect.
commentate with us.
I'm in the background.
Last time we had you here, you were talking about your broken relationship with Eliza.
Oh my God. The way you delivered that. Brutal.
That was crazy.
Flashbacks.
Yeah. War zone.
Yikes.
How's your heart?
I'm
Yeah.
glad we're not talking about that.
How are you?
Yeah, we're holding strong, Nick.
You're holding
We're
strong.
holding strong.
What if? Do you have any thoughts on the characters of the season? Have you met any of the guys? Do you know anything about? Do you have any tea?
I don't know too much about a lot of them. I somehow came in. I was at Melrose Place a couple weekends ago when they were all here for the tell-all, and we had no clue that they were going to be there. So I was texting one of the producers who I'm friends with, and he was like, "Oh, by the way, all the guys are here." I was like, "What guys?" I pull up, it's the whole squad, and so I was like, "Okay, well, this sucks." Kind of
Get to know
keeping
these
my
guys.
distance, yeah. But no, I really don't know.
Why didn't you mingle?
Were you like royalty when you walked in? Were they like, oh, fuck,
No, but
that's
you know,
Justin?
and like people accuse us of doing it as well. But like, you know, especially like when you're fresh off the show, it's like those guys are like, you know, they're standing up on the tables, they got the bottles, they like want to be, they're doing like the signs and
Oh,
everything.
they were popping bottles.
And I'm like, I don't want any parts of this.
No,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like they got the light up signs. Like
Bachelor
I'm like-
men, yeah.
I'm good.
He's
I'm
like
good.
senior at a freshman party kind of thing.
Yes, I'm like I'm okay.
Ooh.
A couple of the guys were really nice. So it was crazy. The one I talked to the longest was FP, the Peter guy, the new pilot. You know how they
They all said fuck
all-
Peter on the
yeah.
thing.
Oh,
And so I had no clue about that. When I met him, I was like, this guy's really nice. We exchanged contact information. If I'm ever in New York, I'll
Got
probably hit him
coffee?
up. We got coffee.
You connected?
We connected.
We networked.
his castmates fucking
Yeah, I
hate him.
know. I was shocked. I was like, wait, this was the nicest guy there.
That's nuts.
Mm.
Crazy.
Did you meet anyone that you were like, I'm good on that?
Oh, by the way, Natalie Joy, our pop
Oh.
culture sport correspondent, and Amanda returns
Oh,
from her
yeah.
vacation. Yeah,
We just dropped the ball on your intro. Are you kidding?
there was just a lot to get into, and yes,
Oh
it's
my
a full house.
gosh.
Genevieve's outside editing.
Who?
Don't worry about it.
Justin, the only other person here.
She was there at Melrose Place too, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's
Anyways,
on the table.
Got coffee with
I'm
her
sorry.
too.
Continue now.
Coffee.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I
You
was
were
saying.
asking who else he
Was
thought-
there anyone that you were like, yeah, I'm good on that. You can stay over there.
I feel like I'm pretty intuitive. Like anybody like that, I usually just don't gravitate towards because I already like have a feeling.
But
who was on the
who-
table? Was
yeah,
it
but who-
Sean?
yeah.
I feel like it was Sean.
Which one's that?
The blonde. Sean.
Oh,
Shrek
Who,
Prince.
he thinks he looks like Ken.
that guy.
right. Not- wait, who's next to him?
That's a 5-year-old
the
picture.
girl?
That's 5-year-old. Is it 5-year-old Allie?
7.
7-year-old Allie?
Allie.
Wow.
That's something.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Who's the
Nothing
little
will
girl?
be better than we showed this to Andrew when he was here, and he goes, "Who's the little girl?" Like it was like
I was
the
hoping it was
saddest-
one of you guys'
in his
baby pictures.
eyes.
I was gonna say that's insane, but I didn't know if it was somebody's
It's
baby
Sean.
picture here. So I was like,
it's just a baby picture of Sean.
"What? What's the Shrek character that they talk about?"
Oh, the prince.
The
In
prince
Shrek.
with the
That's-
chin.
That's nuts.
I feel like he was on the table with a sign.
Yeah, I don't recall.
No comment.
Yeah, it was just wasn't my type of scene. But Peter was
Interesting.
cool. Peter was cool. The only other person that I've ever had heard of from that season was the guy Aaron.
Aaron,
Yeah, yeah.
Which one?
not our favorite. The
Aaron
complainer.
B.
Who's the other Aaron?
Is there another Aaron?
There's a
Yeah, there's-
firefighter, Aaron.
Oh, he's dead in our eyes.
Oh my god.
Rest in peace.
Reality TV dead.
The other Aaron.
The other Aaron, the guy who complained himself all the way to hometowns and then
Came back.
came back.
You've
That
met
one.
him. You know of him.
I shook his hand.
Oh, okay. Good handshake.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Did he look you in the eyes?
Yeah. I also talked to the guy who knits for a hot second.
Xavier.
Xavier.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Aaron, the only backstory I had heard about Aaron.
The guy who was like, "No, I still might cheat on you. Send me home."
But was also
Yeah.
like, sorry for the
Oh,
fuck
that's-
Peter thing.
Yeah.
That was low character.
Oh, that's Xavier.
Yeah.
But then weirdly like said like, well, who did he blamed it on Brayden for telling it was Brayden's fault for telling Peter. It wasn't their fault for doing it. It's kind of sounding a lot like Raquel.
Why'd you have
Uh,
to say anything? Like you got
Yeah,
so
so like why'd you have to tell
visibly
me, dude?
annoyed.
Well, speaking of Raquel, should we hop on into that situation
Oh,
with
yes, thank you.
Bethany?
Thank you.
Because I feel like I need to unpack this.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, you've
For-
been gone.
Yeah, for anybody who is, everybody must know by now that Raquel was on a 3-part interview, Bethenney Frankel's podcast.
3-part interview, and then Bethany did a 4th, giving her own reactions. Anyways, sorry, go ahead.
What were people's overall like takeaways? Was it helpful to hear some of Rachel's perspective? Was it really upsetting for other people?
Upsetting in what way?
Yeah, what do you think, Justin?
So here's the thing. I don't know if it's like a recency bias thing, but and I'm by no means like absolving or, obviously her actions are crazy. But I did think when watching the reunion and then listening to the podcast with Bethany, I did think like when I watched the reunion, I was kind of like, I'm uncomfortable with how just like
Mean they were to her?
mean and attacking. It was like, okay, like I get it. It was awful what she did. But I'm like, one part that stuck out to me in the podcast is when Bethany said that she took it to her therapist and he watched it and he was like, there's a difference between punishment and abuse. And this was just abuse. I was just sitting there like, she is taking this on the chin and I get what she did. But at a certain point, it's like, guys, this is a human
Let up.
still.
Did you find Raquel more likable?
Unless she's a hell of an actress, like she seemed to come off genuine, which I'm hesitant to say because you have to be like, obviously she's seeing someone because she's got a lot of issues that she needs to work through. And she has been hiding this for 7+ months, right? So I don't know, like, am I naive to believe her? But like, she seems like she is taking ownership and accountability and wanting to be better and not lie anymore, even at the sake of like ruining, Sandoval being the only person that's in her corner, like whatever. But as a listener, I was like, I believe you. And like, I had a little bit of a thought, like,
Interesting take.
again, I'm not absolving her of her actions. I'm not condoning what she did, but like listening, I was like, okay, like, I hope she can be better and get better.
I don't know if I believe her or not believe her. I guess I tend to believe her, but to me, it's not really, doesn't really matter for her.
Oh yeah. I mean, those relationships are done. Like what she
I
did
just
is
find it, I just thought the whole
crazy.
episode was hilariously meta in the sense that Rachel had this very unique opportunity. And I don't know why Rachel did a podcast. I don't know what her motives were. I assumed it was from the position of like a PR move, right? Otherwise, why do it? I assumed it wasn't just to be, Bethenney Frankel's martyr, but maybe it was. Maybe she was just there for Bethany's cause. But Rachel had this unique opportunity. So she goes on the show. We never really got to hear from Rachel without her being interrupted or yelled at or things like that. There was never really, she, unlike a lot of people, really kind of disappeared, you know, and from around, she truly fell off the grid. A lot of people in our space, in our world, you know, they really don't. They kind of peek their head up and shit like that. But she did. And so I would have thought that had she came back and had the opportunity to be given a platform, I thought it would be an incredible opportunity for her. We all love a comeback. And despite what she did, you know, and it was horrible that she did that, but someone who said that she was going to, you know, invest in herself and she did this therapy and yada, yada, yada. I felt like it ultimately backfired because while I see your, and I'm sure other people have agreed with your opinion, but it's my understanding that the overwhelming majority of the people who had listened to it feel the same way about Rachel. She is the vitriol and hate that went Raquel/Rachel's direction in the past seems to just been reinvigorated. You know, it's like we kind of forgot about her. Now she's back on the scene, and now people seem to be just as angry.
So I was going to say, when you say she had a unique opportunity and a platform, do you mean coming back in the sense of like she does her own podcast where she's in control of her story, or she comes back for another season, or what platform?
Whatever the platform she chose, she chose Bethenny's, right?
Yeah, I mean, if I were her, I wouldn't have gone back on the show.
Yeah, no, I think
she's choosing not to.
I think it was smart for her not to do, but I'm saying her first time popping up.
Yeah.
She had a built-in audience.
People were going to listen wherever she did it, and people were very much going to want to hear what she had to say. And essentially, despite the first 10 minutes of her saying, I was wrong, I want to apologize to anyone who was triggered by my behavior, yada, yada. And after the first 10 minutes, Bethenny made the whole episode about Bethenny's cause. Bethenny's cause being, you know, reality TV stars are mistreated by the people who make reality TV, in a nutshell, right? Well, she wasn't even hiding it. She titled the episode Reality Reckoning, not like Rachel finally speaks. The focal point wasn't Rachel, which is kind of
But that
funny.
also that could also be why she chose Bethenny, because she knew she was going to
look
out for whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know what other platform
but I think that
would
was
have been that sort of like in her corner almost.
And protective.
Right.
Well,
Protective.
she
It was like she was
cried
like
with
motherly
her.
over her.
Yeah, it was so, and like Bethenny mentioned that a number of times, like with the age gap, like you could tell she really viewed her like as a maternal figure. And I think so much of the point of this was like Rachel trying to humanize herself and being like, this is what happened to my parents. You know, and granted, it's a really fine line of like humanizing yourself and explaining the context of which you made mistakes, not as an excuse, but as hopefully a means of just like explaining it to people and maybe like letting people have their own like self-awareness of how to prevent that in the future. And like just like people having the insight of like how does this all happen? And like, what are some of the things that like, I'm sure it must have been really hard for her. Like there were so many things that like, she was like, they're wrong about this.
I have no doubt. That's the thing. I think for me and for most people listening, it wasn't really about what Rachel was saying was the truth or not. And when I say it was so meta is because like, I honestly think that Bethenny, when she did this interview and Rachel reached out, I think Bethenny had the best intentions. I think that she thought, I'm going to set this girl up. I got her back. I'm going to protect her, whatever. But Bethenny was so blinded by her own ambitions, her own cause. It wasn't about, all right, here's this girl who's been beat up by the press, been beat up by her peers, been beat up by the show. And I want this experience to go amazing for her. So I want her to come in here and let's just craft some questions or whatever. And because at the end of the day, I want this to be her big comeback. And had Raquel spent all her time, whatever, if it was 1 episode or 3 episodes or 4 or whatever time that she decided to talk, that it was just about that, just saying, I just want to take accountability. I want to talk about the therapy. I want to get in depth to like my behavior. I want to talk about my decisions while Tom and I were having this affair and the things that I got triggered by and things that I would do differently in the future than I did in the past. All those things. And when Bethenny served up like, well, what about this? What about that? Rachel could have been like, listen, that's for another conversation. That's for other people to discuss. I'm just here to take accountability and talk about how I'm moving forward. Instead, Bethenny made it about her cause. She basically, in a way, set up Rachel.
She kind of stirred the pot. Like, I feel like Rachel now is in more drama than before because now she said all these new things. Like James likes the sensation of getting bitten by his dog.
That was crazy.
But yeah, not only that, but like it was basically
I believe that.
Other than the first 10 minutes, right? It was Bethenny asking questions and making statements, and Rachel making statements that essentially were either one or two things: downplaying the affair, by saying things like their relationship wasn't that serious, or I wouldn't have, it's just kind of watering down how bad it was and blaming other people. She was putting blame on other people.
I also thought it was a bad look, kind of to your point of maybe it was probably, I know it was inadvertently, but Bethenny kind of setting Rachel Raquel up. I thought it was a misstep when they went into like the monetization of it. So it's like, okay, are you focused more on like, oh, like everyone's Bravo and Tom and everyone, Andy, they've all monetized and I haven't seen a penny. Like, are you more concerned about that or redeeming yourself or taking accountability?
Well, Rachel, but Bethenny was. And this is all, Bethenny thought she had,
said, oh, the Bethenny clause is,
Bethany thought she had this like home run. In Bethany's recap, she literally in the first 30 seconds said how proud of herself that Bethany was like, I'm so proud of myself. Literally. And she also mentioned all the hate that Rachel is now getting as a product of her interview. And then is it like a throwaway? It's like so obvious that Bethany doesn't give a fuck about Rachel and that this was all about Bethenny and her cause. And when I say she set up Rachel, now it's not Bethany's fault. Like Rachel took the bait. Right? Rachel came across to me as someone who like, yeah, she's sorry. She also thinks she's the victim. I would have thought that Rachel would have done this interview with the hopes that after people listen to it, and anytime someone comes on this show who's maybe getting some heat, and I'll just tell them like, just be honest and be hard on yourself and let the audience protect you. Let the audience come to your defense. Like, don't make excuses for your behavior. Just own it. And like, not everyone's going to come around on you, but a lot of people will. I thought Rachel would come on to talk about her character and like why, despite the mistake that she made, that she is committed to being like, I want people to trust me being friends with them. I want girls to be okay with me being in the same room with their boyfriend because like what I did was wrong and I recognize it was wrong and I never want to be that person and I'm committed to that. And you would have thought that Rachel, of all the things that she could talk about, that would be her goal, that people would leave that interview and go, you know what? Yeah, she fucked up. Yeah, she destroyed a relationship. She hurt a lot of people in a lot of friendships, but she seems like she's on the path of healing. And like, I was rooting for her. I wanted Rachel to have that opportunity, but instead it was Rachel, to your point. She was literally like, talking about the money. She was complaining that she wasn't profiting from her affair. How is that a smart move?
Yeah, she had me in the first half.
It's just like, everyone else is profiting. That's the thing what's so meta about it is that Bethenny once talked about, in the first episode, she talked about how the producers will say this thing. Justin, it'll resonate with you. And when Cass is like, I don't know if I should come back on the show. I don't know if I should do this. Producers, they're right. And they're right. They will say, well, do you want to tell your story? Do you want other people to tell your story? And you can call that manipulation, call it what you want, but it is a useful thing that obviously producers say. And let's imagine for a second that Bethenny gets a call from Rachel. Rachel's like, hey, Bethenny, I want to do your podcast. Bethenny's like, oh my God, great. I'm going to fly out. She flies out to Arizona because apparently that's where they did it. And the last minute, Rachel wakes up. She calls up Bethenny in the morning off. And she's like, Bethenny, I don't know. I'm having second thoughts. I don't know. I've been like off the grid. And to be honest, like keeping my head down, I've never been happier. And I honestly I don't really see the point because I just feel like I'm just going to stir the pot. And I don't think it's going to go well. I don't think it's going to be good for my mental health and yada. Do you really think Bethenny would have just got back on a plane and gone home? I mean,
no.
Do you really think Bethenny would have not said some version of like, do you really want other people to tell your story? Or do you want to be the empowered woman that you are and stand up for yourself? And you know what I'm saying? Like, and when I talk all the time on this show, whether it's The Bachelor or Vanderpump, and I try to give a perspective of like both sides, like how perspective of me, the position that Justin and I have been in. I've been fucked by producers. I've been fucked by the show. That's all happened. But at the same time, these producers, they're also doing a job too. And it's not like all the producers are these evil people and all the cast are these good angels. Like I've heard so many horror stories about cast talking viciously to production and saying some shit to them and things like that. And this is all to say, it's just funny because I think what is often the truth is that these producers, yeah, they might say some shit and they be the friend that kind of, gets you to do the thing that you deep down kind of want to do, but maybe your friends would tell you not to do it. Because like when I have my regrets on the show, but I didn't do anything that I didn't want to do. I might have had a producer give me some bad fucking advice, but like I did ultimately what I wanted to do. And I just think Bethenny articulated and showed by how she handled this interview, the producer/talent relationship in reality TV. Because to me, I wouldn't be shocked. And if a year from now, Rachel goes on some other podcast and complains that she feels used by Bethenny, because all that Bethenny has done for Rachel is just like recreate all the fucking hate that she was getting. It's not Bethenny's fault that Rachel took the bait, you know, because ultimately Rachel could have been like, you know what, Bethenny, I just want to, you know, take accountability. But what Rachel, I suspect, will do in about a year from now is when the dust settles, she won't take accountability and she will blame Bethenny for being like, well, she told me she was going to protect me and she told me this was going to go and I trusted Bethenny because she's been in it for so long and yada, 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 yada. And I think it's just kind of hilarious. It was so hilarious that Bethenny did it. Like, and I don't fault her for making money off the podcast, but like Bravo, who will unnecessarily take a reunion and cut up into 3 fucking weeks. Here's Bethenny cutting up 1 episode into 3 fucking episodes. I mean, like, it was just hilarious just how like on the nose it was. And with Bethenny talking about how the reality train just keeps on moving and everyone's just like kind of trying to keep on it. Like, Bethenny doesn't realize that she's still on the fucking train. Like, she might not even be on a show, but she's part of the rat race and she is in it. And like, this is all about Bethenny, you know, it's just all about her cause and getting credit for the cause and saying how she doesn't care about the credit, but like constantly is like, it's just kind of hilarious to me.
Do you think Bethany's going to cut Rachel a check in the podcast?
No. Oh yeah. She also was like, you don't know if I paid her. How do you know what I did? I'm like, okay. You know,
But did you?
The receipt. Yeah. It's pretty easy to say you did.
I don't think she should pay her. You know, to be clear, I just think it's hilarious just how much shit she's talking. And yet she used the fuck out of Rachel's story for her own cause. Rachel is not in a better place than when she went on Bethenny's podcast at all. She had this golden opportunity and she wasted it by being Bethenny's martyr.
To me, there were a few facts that like struck me as like, oh, this feels like relevant information. I don't know if it's possible for Rachel to be the bearer of this information, even though she's might be the only person who knows. But I'm curious, like with these things that came out in the interview, which I'll list, do you think there is a way to otherwise publicize that? Of like, I think the revenge porn part was really significant.
Oh, that was
horrific. And the fact
Yeah.
that Tom insisted on that getting cut out of her calling him out for recording something without her consent, the fact that he insisted on that getting cut out, the fact that she said, okay, well, you can say maybe Rachel doesn't deserve any brand deals, doesn't deserve to profit in that way. From like a pure cast perspective, I think you could say she deserves the same pay as Tom and Ariana on the next season.
I think she has the right to ask for it. I'm just looking at this as strictly like PR. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was a smart thing to do? I think it's hilarious just how unself-aware Bethenny is coming across for someone who historically presents herself as somebody who is very self-aware. And I've always been a Bethenny fan, you know, like she is very much an iconic person in reality TV, but I just think it's just so hilarious just how selfish Bethenny was and how she couldn't see what she was doing was damaging someone in reality TV when her whole cause is about how reality TV networks use reality TV people to their own benefit. And it's not because they have this like evil agenda. It's just because they're more worried about their cause, which is to make a great TV show and keep their jobs and have drama. And everyone acts like they're in on it, you know, which they are. You know what I'm saying? And it's just kind of funny to me that Bethenny sounded this way. To your point, I think I think one, if I were like Rachel's PR or like her manager, I've been like, there'll always be time for that. Let's focus. This is your first time coming out. Let's focus on accountability. Bethenny was trying to paint Rachel as the victim. Rachel wasn't necessarily trying to paint herself as a victim. She just took the bait.
She should have waited, because if you're talking accountability, like it's too soon to show receipts for accountability. Like
Not necessarily. Maybe.
I'm really curious. Like if you're interviewing Rachel, what do you ask her?
I would just want to lean into the work she's done. I would ask follow-up questions. You know, she talked about the love addiction. Like, Bethenny didn't give a fuck about any of that. She just glossed right over it and was just like trying to throw in questions about how she was mistreated by either the cast or production. That's all Bethenny cared about. So there was no like, yeah, that's really interesting. Tell me more. For the people listening who might resonate with that.
Because she doesn't know more. She just,
what is
like,
that?
I don't watch this. I don't know anything.
You know?
Yeah, like even when she
Scandal.
said, I have a love addiction, which is when you confuse intensity for intimacy. Yeah. I was like, oh.
That's really interesting.
Let's
Tell me
dive
more.
into
Yeah,
that.
let's dive
That
into
has
that.
nothing
You
to do
know?
with the show. That's just an interesting concept.
You know, I've done a handful of these interviews, and the advice I give to the cast is just like, just don't lie. I may even ask you questions that will like give you the opportunity to complain. Don't take the bait. I'm just posing the question to get the idea out there, and I'm going to let other people run with it.
I do think it's important, though, to acknowledge like what an uphill battle it is to get people to change their mind. No, everyone came into this interview cracking their knuckles, ready to shit on Rachel.
But I've had interviews like that, and I'll tell the people come on. I'm like, just so you know, you're not going to change everyone's mind.
Yeah.
Some people are just going to fucking hate you. But we can change a lot of people's minds, and that's up to you. So it's how you handle it, how you answer the questions and things like that. She changed no one's mind. Maybe just. But
Damn.
I'm just kidding. But sure, some people were more focused on Bethenny's campaign, but anyone focused on Scandival and Raquel, it sounds like the fallout, even per Bethenny, Rachel's getting a ton of hate. And for someone who's been, and to your point, like no one deserved, like I don't think she deserved to be treated that way. You know what I'm saying?
And
like,
I guess I just want to clarify. I wouldn't say my mind has changed. All I would say is that I'm at a point where it's like, so like, and again, like, yeah, I watched the show, right? I've never felt so passionately about somebody else's issue where I've felt the need to do what people are doing. So I guess I'm just coming from a place where I'm like, okay, not that my mind has changed. What she did was horrible. And everyone in that cast has the right to feel how they feel towards her. I'm just saying, okay, taking a step back, like, do I think she deserves to be told, go fuck yourself with a cheese grater and you're less than human? You're like, no, like, okay, let's everyone relax. That's all I'm saying. Like, I think she is, again, unless she's duping my ass and she's that great of a liar or actress, like, I feel like she's actually trying to be better. Has she gone about it the right way? Probably not. I believe that she's remorseful and trying to take the steps to get better.
Yeah, I hear you saying. And I think, unfortunately for Rachel, for people who were heavily invested, it didn't land. And it didn't land because Bethenny tried to paint Rachel as the victim, and she made it all about Bethenny's cause, and she didn't give a fuck about Rachel's cause.
I think she genuinely thought, I don't know that you can say
I don't
it was
think it was malicious.
Like, I think she genuinely thought, she was like, no, but I'll appeal to the mothers. I'll appeal to all the people who have had a friend who's been through the shit. Like, I will ask questions that will make people humanize this poor girl and see all the stuff that she has endured, even though she's fucked up royally. I totally
believe that Bethenny thought she was doing Rachel a solid. And I just think she was caught up in her own bullshit and her own selfishness that she couldn't see it, which is exactly how I see the producer-cast relationship, where, like, I don't think the producers are trying to fuck anyone over. They're just more like, produce on The Bachelor. What they're focused on, like, if I'm Justin's producer, I'm focused on Justin finding love. And that's all I fucking care about. And I've convinced myself that, like, the shit I say and blah, blah, blah.
I think producers, number one priority is making good TV.
Yeah,
that's
their goal.
Because they put us in some positions where if love was the priority.
But what I'm saying is, like,
things would go a little bit differently.
You're absolutely right. It's TV first, then love. But, like, they have a job. They have a literal job to do. And I think they often get blinded by the job they have to do. And it's not because they're, like, evil and brainwashed. It's like, and it's not an excuse. Just like I don't think it was an excuse that Bethenny completely fucked over Rachel, even though she had good intentions, but she just couldn't realize that instead of helping out Rachel take accountability and have this be step one of maybe many steps, because she could have her come back like later and get into it and kind of not have it be a whole an episode trying to paint her as the victim, but just be like, ask her a question and just have it like, tease that information here or there.
On the show?
I'm just saying, when was it a good time for Rachel to bring some of the stuff out?
I don't think the network would ever tell the information that she
She doesn't have to do it all at once. If I were giving Rachel advice, I'm like, you don't have to do this all at once. This was your first time speaking. So people just want to know if you are really sorry.
Basically, Rachel should have come on the Viall Files.
All in all. That's what I'm hearing.
That's what.
And she still can't. I think she's got more.
I don't know if there's anything I can do at this point. I think when you start complaining that you should have been paid for your affair, it's just not going to land with a lot of people.
Somebody else who's in a financially insecure situation. Did you see that thing about Dax Shepard? He talked today about how with the writer's strike, how he's like in a 2-month spiral of just completely out of hand financial insecurity. There's this new fear of I'm somehow going to be broke or I'm going to lose everything. Podcasting is going to be over. There's an actor strike. I'm not going to act. So it was interesting to me to see someone who is like so successful and powerful also express that, like, I feel like so many times we assume people who have these huge platforms are like, oh, of course they're making bank.
How much did Dax Shepard make in a Spotify deal?
So his deal started July 1st of 2021, and it said that his deal was similar to Joe Rogan's deal with Spotify, which was $100 million.
What's his definition
I think
prior to signing that Spotify deal, I think he was making anywhere from $5 to $10 million.
No, but
a year.
I think the point of him saying that was it stems from a childhood fear.
Yes, very much. Where he's like, it's not related to reality. It's from growing up poor. I just can't shake it. So it's like,
I guess it's just a weird thing to say for someone who's worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah. Do you think it's like, I guess akin to the previous conversation, like one of those things where it's impossible to be relatable? Because I do think there's some way you could interpret as like, oh, wow, okay, like no matter how successful you get, you never overcome like the inner child in you who's like freaked out and scared and has a scarcity mindset about certain things. So do you think in any way it's like humanizing, or it's only like,
or is he so far removed from reality that his idea of broke is not realistic?
Yeah, I don't know. Was Dax saying that to garner sympathy, or was it just kind of like, hey, this is a weird thing about me?
I think he was saying it's like a 2-month spiral, and it's not saying like he fears that now. I think he's even kind of admitting it's just this like fantasy fear that might not actually happen. He says this new fear of, I'm going to somehow be broke, or I'm going to lose everything. Podcasting is going to be over. I'm not going to act. It's so foundationless. It's preposterous. So
I can see that.
Like,
that makes sense.
Okay.
Right? Like that, like, I think everyone who is in whatever field it may be, like.
I relate. I just wouldn't have the guts
to say it.
To say that. And I'm worth a fraction of what Dax Shepard is, and I still feel incredibly blessed. Do I experience like, hey, I remind Natalie all the time, we are so fucking grateful and lucky that I don't know how long this fucking train's gonna go, kind of thing. But let's keep working hard and keep buckling down, but let's just be grateful while we're here. That's conversations that we have as a couple. I just wouldn't have the guts to be like, yeah, for 2 months, I'm just worried if I want to be poor, you know? I don't know. It's just like a bold move.
He did also like link it to how his parents fought about money when he was a kid. And about how he was, it seems
I know
like,
the feeling, yeah.
Yeah, he was kind of like making the parallel of like, you worry that like, not only am I going to be broke, but like, am I going to enter like personal turmoil because my relationship is going to be ruined because it just puts people in such a difficult position.
Here's where I'm way too logical of a thinker, because when you guys spit out all these numbers, right? He could probably never work a day in his life and invest that properly and be just fine for his entire life.
God.
Yeah,
but again, I don't know if many people think that way.
I don't know. Maybe he's
Justin's
a huge
gonna
fucking
slide
spender.
into his DMs, be like,
And we're not even talking about his
I got
wife's
ideas.
money. I don't know. Maybe
Talk
they
stocks
keep
and
everything
bonds,
separately,
my
but
friend.
he's married to one of the highest earning women in Hollywood. I got to say, it's just kind of weird timing given that there is a strike and they're striking for so many unemployed working actors who aren't able to make ends meet and have to take side jobs, and it's just like weird timing to like say that.
Yeah, definitely an attempt at being like, even the people at the top are like uncomfortable and nowhere near as uncomfortable as you, which is I think what you're speaking to of like, are you sure you're making it very clear that this is like preposterous and that like you are very well off? But I do think maybe it's meant to be like for all those other writers, for the staff writers, the people who are early on in their career who are like scared and facing this uncertainty, like I'm also experiencing that. I might be doing it in a very different situation.
What
but,
a
like,
weird way to try to empathize. Hey, like, I know you're actually broke and afraid of making ends meet, but I'm also worried that I might be broke. I'm definitely never going to be broke. I have so much fucking money.
But I've thought about it.
But I do worry about it, even though I have absolutely no fucking reason to. It's truly preposterous, but I'm here to let you know I have my concerns. I mean, that's why so many fucking people outside of Hollywood will criticize people in Hollywood for sounding out of touch.
Yeah. Well, it's like, what's that quote where it's like, people still live paycheck to paycheck. The paychecks just get bigger.
I mean, it's true. The more you make, the more you spend. And we have no idea what they spend their money on. So maybe they are fucking broke. I don't know. Like,
Well, we do know they spent how much at the airport on pillows?
like $600 on pillows and
$600,
blankets.
Which
but they
Probably
also
reel that
couldn't
in.
find a fucking hotel in all of Boston. I don't know.
Someone said they were in Boston at that point. They're like, it's true. Like there was a bunch of stuff going on. Like everything was booked.
That's wild. Yeah.
Okay.
they couldn't even drop their name and get a room.
Maybe they don't want to.
Yeah.
They found
They
an
should've-
attic.
I don't know. They found pillows and blankets in the airport.
Hudson News.
That's the news.
It is so important to keep your personal information private. It's a scary world out there. The digital world has never been more out of control, more scary, and you got to protect your information. You got to protect all the important data that you have out there because there are a lot of data breaches, and Aura is a company that's going to help you do that. Have you ever searched your name on a search engine? If not, you might be surprised by the amount of personal information available online. Your full legal name, email, home address, phone numbers, and more can be easily found online. And this isn't just true for you, but also for your friends and family. And also, did you know that in 2022 alone, there were over 1,800 data breaches that exposed personal information of over 422 million individuals? Victims of data breaches are easy targets for all sorts of cyber crimes. You need to protect yourself and loved ones with Aura. We are thrilled to partner with Aura. Aura is an all-in-one online safety solution that helps protect you and your family from identity theft, financial fraud, and online threats before they happen. With Aura, you can rest easy knowing that someone is looking out for you. The app scans the dark web to look for your email addresses, passwords, and social security numbers, and other sensitive information. If anything is found, you'll receive an alert in real time. Also, if you're a victim of identity theft, your experienced white glove fraud resolution team will help you initiate credit freezes or lock or work around the clock to resolve it. For a limited time, Aura is offering our listeners a 14-day trial plus a check of your data to see if your personal information has been leaked online, all for free when you visit aura.com/VIALL. That is aura.com/VIALL to sign up for a 14-day free trial and start protecting you and your loved ones now. That's right. That's aura.com/VIALL. Certain terms apply. Be sure to check the site for details. FabFitFun. Here's your free beauty and lifestyle hack for this episode. FabFitFun is your best way to save money on beauty and lifestyle products from the brands you love. Discover new brands and treat yourself to something nice without overpaying. FabFitFun is great that way. It's a collection of all the different goodies, again, with brands that you know, brands that are kind of hot on the market, and you get them for a fraction of the cost that you would pay for them otherwise. As a FabFitFun member, you get exclusive access to shop thousands of curated products from top lifestyle products and brands like Fenty, Kate Spade, Glossier, and more, up to 70% off. These aren't sample sizes. These aren't low-quality products. No, these are products you will love and typically will pay full price for, but not with FabFitFun. Enjoy name brand full-size products of your favorites. That's right, new brands and ones you'll always wanted to try at discounted prices you won't find anywhere else. Sign up at fabfitfun.com/VIALL. Customize your box and get access to discounts up to 70% off on brands like Fenty, Free People, and Our Place, just to name a few. Not in love with this season's options? Well, take the credit to shop their exclusive flash sales of up to 70% and save on the biggest name brands out there.
I have a picnic blanket that I got from FabFitFun that I absolutely adore. It's something that I didn't realize I needed until I was customizing my box and picking stuff out.
If you join FabFitFun as a new seasonal member right now, you will get 20% off your membership. So your first box is only $47.99 for up to a $300 value box each season. But only while supplies last. FabFitFun boxes sell out. Join FabFitFun today and save at fabfitfun.com/VIALL. That's fabfitfun.com/VIALL.
So I guess if we could just revisit for 1 second, as many questions as there may be with this whole scandal situation. My biggest question, there's no way Tom and Ariana are still living together, right?
That's the rumor, according to Rachel. But also, I heard that from Tom, too.
But I also saw paparazzi photos of like her moving out. Was she
Those
just
were
putting...
staged because of the shirt she was wearing. It was like a brand deal.
As a brand deal.
Mm-hmm.
It was a
Really?
finance company. Yeah.
Oh, wait, no. I feel like I saw like real ones.
Well, when Tom and I were filming Special Forces, they were still living together.
And see, that part, it just makes no sense to me because aside from obviously what happened,
Sure.
to get on stage and to feel that passionately and to say those things, like, how do you live together? Right. And again, it brings me back to the podcast with Bethenny, right? Where Rachel's talking about how, we didn't see a lot, it was made to seem like her and Ariana were so close. They weren't, the relationship between, there's mistrust, was this whole just scandal leaked on purpose for the sake of, their benefit?
No, again, I hear you.
I wouldn't be living with somebody after that.
I hear you. However, again, if you are someone who's listening, who's maybe been affected by infidelity, I'm imagining their response might be like this to Rachel would be like, hey, maybe you have no idea what it takes to be in a 9 to 10 year relationship, but relationships are very hard and there's ups and downs and there's not just good months and bad months, but maybe we sometimes have a bad year and you work through it. You don't just fuck someone else. And who knows, that is different, but people have all sorts of kinds of relationships. And there are times when people in committed relationships are living separate lives and aren't feeling connected and maybe have to work through things. but that doesn't make it okay to
But
like
they're
cheat.
they're both in full new relationships.
No, I'm just saying the way Rachel said it as if like, hey, and they're living like she said it to try to basically downplay the seriousness of Ariana and Tom's connection, their relationship, how important it was, how meaningful it was. And yeah, is it weird that they're still living together? Sure, yeah. And we can sit there and speculate and fuck, maybe everything Rachel is saying is true, but I'm just saying she lost her credibility in terms of coming on for the first time and starting throwing punches their way. I think for a lot of people,
I don't disagree with that by any means. I guess my thought now is, you know, I would probably have the same type of visceral reaction that Ariana had, obviously something to this magnitude. But how do you go, no part of Ariana made it seem like she was interested in working things out at any point in her lifetime with Tom, right?
it is odd, sure, that she
So
is like,
how-
I can't look at him,
Right.
but she can
But I can live
him.
with you.
But interest rates are like 7% right now. Like people are not trying to buy houses. I think it's
Yeah,
only
exactly.
a money
They're-
thing. I think
Sure.
that's all
But
that it is.
we've seen that with Tom and Katie, though. They sold their house. Now they're both in apartments. She doesn't have to go and buy a house.
And I know Rachel said, "Oh, I let Tom have keys in my apartment," but maybe stubborn Tom doesn't want to leave, and it's
You
like,
didn't want to come say hi? How rude.
what? Yeah, but like maybe he's just like, no, I don't want to let Ariana win. I don't want to leave my house and sleep in an apartment. I don't know
Yeah.
their reasoning.
I mean,
just go back to like it just didn't. Rachel didn't do herself any favors trying to like throw grenades at Tom and Ariana, and Bethenny definitely didn't do Rachel any favors by making it all about Bethenny's cause.
Yeah. I guess it's just a way to include Tom in season 11 if nobody wants to talk to him. They're like, well, you're still in a house with him.
But I saw them filming at SUR, and they all walked in together. Ariana wasn't engaging with him, but he was right behind her.
Oh, no way.
So clearly she's letting him in close proximity, whether or not she's actually
You
engaging.
can only stay mad for so long. It just takes so much energy. And eventually, like, yeah, Sheena will come around and Lala will talk
Never
to
come
Tom.
around.
No, she will. Like,
And
I don't
now
know.
I saw paparazzi photos of her hugging Sandoval, Lala.
What?
Yeah, but
at the beach day.
but all you know, it was like some sort of insincere, like, yeah, whatever, fuck you, hug. You
But
know?
Lala doesn't do that. You think Lala's like, sure, let me give this guy a hug? No, she'd be like, fuck you.
Well, she hugged him.
They must be like,
I don't think
well,
they're.
kosher.
Yeah, they're definitely. Yeah, but yeah, people can't stay mad forever. The show must go on.
Well, another
And the
show.
show did go on with
Yeah.
Charity.
Yeah, nice transition.
Yeah.
Yeah, she picked Dotun. I don't know. I mean, listen, I guess if you have a boring finale, then you know what you like. That's more on the producers than it's not even on Charity.
You thought it was boring?
The finale?
I was genuinely like, I was not sure if she was going to pick Joey or Dotun.
What? Have you?
Really?
I
For
think
real?
the show did an excellent job. I think Charity was an excellent Bachelorette this episode. Everything about Erin being there, even when she came back for the rose ceremony, you see it every season. And it's always like when the lead has to come back and explain their actions to the rest of the people. And it's like this. And what they really want to say is, I don't want to fucking do that. I had to do that because I'm the Bachelor or I'm the Bachelorette. And I don't know how to explain myself, so I'm just going to make some weird shit up and be like, this is really hard and blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm sure Charity respected the hell out of Aaron and blah, blah, blah. But, like, he flew all the way out from Fiji. And then in lieu of a fantasy suite, she's like, why don't you just come over to my hotel room and we'll hang out for 10 minutes? And then she'll say some version of, like, what did she say? I don't want to feel basic. She was just like, I don't want to be responsible
For the expectations.
I don't want to carry
I don't
it.
want to carry the
Like with
expectations.
regards to your, like in regards to his expectations, like I don't want to carry it.
Yeah. She's like, I
Too
don't.
heavy.
Yeah, I don't want to be responsible for sending you home tomorrow. But if you want to stick around for a day to validate you getting on a plane, sure.
Like you want to really lock in your paradise ticket.
I
Fine.
hope that man got some airline miles because woof.
Oh, did he pay for his
Yeah.
flight?
No,
No.
way.
Okay.
But they will. They probably asked him what his airline number was.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
Yeah, they will ask you.
Those points.
Yeah, so he probably did get some points if he had points to get.
That's great.
Yeah.
Short flight.
But I thought Joey, like, even though it felt like Dotun was the front runner for so long, she did seem so torn. And at one point when Dotun gave her the locket of both of them as kids, she was like, I'm going to cry. And it just reminded me of the way she'd said it when she was with Aaron on their hometown dancing on the football field. That was what kind of threw me off, was I was like, uh-oh, is she like feeling bad because she's seeing how nice someone is being and she knows she's going to let them down.
Joey's very nice and he knows how to compliment, and Charity likes to be complimented. And I think it was two people who really respected the hell out of each other, you know,
Totally.
and they really cared about each other as people. And I hope for Charity and Dotun's sake that this was all an act, because I would hate to be like, you know, have to sit down and be like, yeah, no, I was really torn. Like,
I mean, she was boohoo crying with Joey, like sobbing on his shoulder when she sent him home.
Her nose was wet. That's, I feel
Her
like when you
That's
know.
how you know.
Mhm.
Drippage.
Everything was wet.
I having
America was
Well.
like, everything was wet.
who knows, maybe she was really torn. But having been in that experience, I think it's not that hard to allow your emotions, and you're just physically and emotionally drained at that point. And you do, well, maybe not, you know, and she claims that she was in love with Joey. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's always like, oh, I was in love with two people, cut to People magazine. I knew from the beginning it was always you, you know, like, you know, it's like, it's a tough position that leads it in, but it's not that hard. I would find that Charity's emotions to be real, because it was a highly emotional moment and she had a ton of empathy, and she probably felt bad for stringing him along, and she felt bad for letting him give his speech. And a lot of that emotion was guilt. I think that's a very normal feeling that the leads often feel. I don't know if that was the case, but having lived through it, and talked to other people, I'd imagine it's just kind of a buildup of everything, not so much like the sadness of sending home someone she's also in love with.
I wonder how close it really was in her mind, because I feel like she was leaning Dotun for a long time, right? And you would think that if it was that close, it seemed like her family was leaning Joey. But I think at one point she said, I don't have a gut right now, when her mom was like, go with your gut reaction. But subconsciously she did, because I think despite that, she knew she was picking
Yeah,
Dotun.
because her sister was like, Joey makes you glow. And she went, okay.
Right. But had
Yeah,
you
that
seen
was
it
her
with
gut.
Dotun?
Yeah.
Her gut
She was
was,
like pissed.
that's her gut. And
Like, she
I thought it
knew.
was fascinating that her mom kind of said that she's indecisive, and then that Charity showed us that she has a gut, but showed us that she has a hard time following it.
Yeah, I thought that conversation with her and her mom was amazing. And it seemed like her mom was,
It was real.
really like
Well,
reining it in and like
sassy
in
to mom.
service.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Her mom talked to her after that episode. Hey, you talk to me like that on national TV. We're going to have to handle that.
Especially
Get
on
around it.
TV.
She was like, fine. Yeah, she gave them like, fine. Well, then we won't talk.
Yeah.
My mom would have been like, cut the camera real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of like day 5 of Thanksgiving, with your family, where it's like you fully regress to slight high school self for a moment. And then you're like, okay, I'm an adult woman and I need to get it together. Well, you guys are expecting parents. If you are in that situation where your child is really torn, doesn't know what they want to do, and is looking to you for advice, do you give them any kind of insight, or do you do what Charity's mom did and say, you got to make this on your own?
Oh, I thought Charity's mom played it beautifully.
Yeah, I'd probably do the same. I don't know. I think it's a cop-out for Charity to want her mom to give her a name. And it just makes it easier on her, then that way she can be like, well, my mom like influenced me to pick this person
It
over
was
that
just kind of
person.
fascinating how much sass Charity gave her mom for not telling her to pick.
I think she obviously was just like desperate in that moment, and she like wanted someone to give her.
I feel like even if she said Joey, she was going to pick Dotun regardless, though.
Yeah.
So what was that? What was that going to do for her?
I don't know.
I feel
I
like
think
you just want
it's-
it validated. You
but
want it
it's-
confirmed. You want to like see from other people,
Right.
because it probably feels like in a way you're sure, but it is
Yeah.
also somewhat of a social experiment. This isn't typical dating. It's really not
Right.
that much time.
You
So
haven't been
she
around
feels
people.
like she knows what she wants to do, but she's like, these are people who have known me my entire life.
Right.
Please tell me what I want to hear so that I don't feel crazy or like
Yeah.
I'm taking a risk.
That's a good point. It's like you don't have much to go on. And even though she might like Dotun the best, like it's still a leap of faith. And it's kind of a bummer for her parents to be like, like the person you want to pick. It's not going to change your mind, but yeah, it's probably a bummer. But at the same time, maybe her sister just said that one comment. Also, keep in mind, like they love, a distraction. So I bet if you talk to Charity,
there were
and
probably
Dotun,
other things said about
they probably
Dotun.
were like, no, it was like a really nice hometown and I had a really good time.
Yeah.
And like, but
Yeah.
there was just that one moment,
Yeah.
Yeah. And they like obviously focused on it.
I mean, I'm so happy for them. Do you guys, after seeing so many couples who seem incredibly solid, like when they come out on the couch for the live portion and they're glowing and they're in love, and like seeing those couples break up like months or even a few years later, At this point, do you feel like you have any means of even predicting if couples are going to be successful?
It really comes down to the winner, I think. I think the winner is put in such an unfair position that it requires an insane amount of maturity and level-headedness and not sweating the small stuff and just being okay and kind of allowing the lead of the winner and Charity, in this case Charity, to like have them say a bunch of times, like, I did it for the show, which it gets annoying and frustrating, and you just kind of, but it's also the truth. And Dotun strikes me as someone who's incredibly mature and level-headed and grounded. And so, like, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if those two could make it work. Just because I think it's understandable for the winner to constantly be frustrated and feel like their experience is not what they expected in this whole experience. It doesn't feel like they won. They often get alienated by their peers and they're kind of an outsider because they won and yada yada. And then again, you have to watch this whole finale. Don's like, I just got engaged and here I am. He watches it back, and most of the episode was Charity selling her feelings about Joey. It's very difficult, you know?
Mhm.
And so it takes a lot of like, you know what? What's done is done, and I want to focus on what's in front of me, and that's very hard for people to do.
Yeah, it's like I just saw you say like a casual I love you. Like Natalie, you were saying that when Charity and Joey were saying goodbye one morning. He was like, love you too. Like the way you do in a relationship that you've been in for so long. And you have to like watch that and be like, cool. So I put a ring on her finger, but
Yeah, it's tough. And even like Aaron coming back. I mean, granted, it ended up being nothing. But imagine if it went any further, it would just be a lot. It's a lot for the winner to accept. Now, however, Charity is on Dancing with the Stars.
Period.
So congrats to Charity.
Yeah.
For all the problems that Vanessa and I had, Dancing with the Stars wasn't one of them. So
That's what I was just about to ask you. Do you think, like, did your relationship struggle
no, honestly,
with that, or did it?
I mean, again, we fought about just about everything, but to Vanessa's credit, she was remarkably cool about Dancing with the Stars.
What would there be to fight over? The time away when you're still trying to get to know each other, or like what's the?
I mean, fuck.
I don't know. Jealousy, maybe? I don't know. Like you're dancing with another woman.
Oh, you're talking about
I don't
Dancing with the
know.
Stars about just being...
Yeah, Dance with the Stars, like coming
yeah.
off of the show.
Yeah,
like,
coming off the show.
You're still trying to get to know each other, but then you're immediately taken
Up
away.
until now,
Yeah.
Dotun and Charity haven't spent any real time together. They've basically every other week, give or take,
Right.
they've been given these happy couple weekends, which is basically you're trapped in a house for 3 to 4 days, which is nice, but you are like, you're caged up and all you can do is really watch movies. You can't go outside. And even that's just kind of awkward and fucking weird, but like you make the most of that. And then meanwhile, Charity's, probably doing all this press and traveling around the world and she's doing all these things. She's constantly busy. So like their whole relationship after they got engaged was like long distance and kind of weird. And so this will be their first time to just be a real couple. And she's going to go right into Dancing with the Stars. And so, which is very time demanding. And, she's going to be rehearsing. And yeah, she's, depending on Don's jealousy level,
Something tells me
she will be like rubbing up against her professional dancer. Now, usually Dance with the Stars will do like Charity a solid and pair her with like a married someone in a relationship. But like, I don't know, like it doesn't mean that like
she doesn't
if they
strike
do
me
the
as the
samba,
type that would even, I don't know. She doesn't strike me as the type.
I don't think
Yeah.
there's anything that someone really would need to get jealous about.
Right.
That doesn't stop people from getting jealous. And I don't think Dotun will, but if you ask me like what could people get jealous about, like they are doing the samba, and shit like that. So
he'll be with Ariana.
she will be with
Yeah.
Ariana. Every plate, all you busy people out there on the go from your home to your work to your friends, and you're tired of eating out, but you don't have time to go grocery shopping or go to the grocery store. And not even that. The worst part is thinking about every day, what do I make? What should I make? I don't know. I want to eat something healthy. I don't know what to make. Well, Every Plate is there to save the day because Every Plate will send you fresh ingredients to your doorstep with great tasting recipes that are easy to make in just a few minutes, like soy chicken tacos, chicken stir-fried, chicken sausage flatbreads, tomato pasta, and more. The chicken sausage flatbreads are delicious, let me tell you. Every Plate also, did you know, is also owned by HelloFresh. So if you've been enjoying HelloFresh and Every Plate, there's a reason why they're owned by the same high-quality company. Their meals are 50% cheaper than your average fast casual meal. They are the easiest way to eat affordably. Put the money you save towards making fall plans. Do something nice for yourself. Eat right, eat healthy, and enjoy a variety of great tasting meals let me tell you, you got to try Every Plate, especially if you're one of those on-the-go people.
Every Plate is also great too if you're running late or you don't have time to grocery shop. But even if you're not just cooking for yourself, I love to take one of the recipes and like bring it over to my friend's house or have someone come over because it's a fun thing to do together.
Get your meals for $1.49 per meal by going to everyplate.com/podcast and entering code 49VIALL. Get started with Every Plate for just $1.49 per meal by going to everyplate.com/podcast and entering code 49VIALL. That's right. That's everyplate.com/podcast. Enter code 49VIALL. That's up to $110 value. Hey, do you like to shop and get cash back? Oh, well, I have a solution for you. It's called Rakuten. That's right. You heard me right. You get to shop and you will get cash back. It can be deposited directly into your PayPal account or they'll send you a check. That's right. Maybe you like shopping at Sephora, Macy's, Nike, Adidas, Petco, eBay, Zappos, Expedia, Best Buy, etc. You can shop there, and with Rakuten, over 4,200 stores across every category: beauty, clothing, electronics. Rakuten is the most rewarding way to shop and save because our members earn cash back on everything that they buy. Rakuten is a shopping platform that partners with over 4,200 stores across every category: beauty, clothing, electronics, home, department stores, pets, etc. You are already shopping at your favorite stores. Why not be saving while you do it? It's a no-brainer. Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop.
Seriously, it's the type of thing, too, where you're probably already shopping at these brands. You already have stuff you need. I'm a huge online shopper. It's like the easiest way to get stuff just sent directly to me. And it kind of feels like you just get these fun little, you get this cash back. You get basically rewarded for shopping, which is awesome.
It's incredible.
And membership is free and it's easy to sign up, and they just make the entire process so easy.
Join the over 17 million other members who are already saving with Rakuten, and you could be 7,000,001. Those members have earned over 4.6 billion in cash back.
You can start shopping at Rakuten.com, or you can get the Rakuten app to start saving today, and your cash back really adds up. $4.6 billion, everyone. That's a lot of cash back.
With a B.
So again, you can go to Rakuten.com, Rakuten.com, or get the Rakuten app to start saving. Rakuten.com.
What do we think of Paradise this season?
It's just a lot of people I've never seen before, and then including someone who can't poop.
Yeah.
When they showed
Allie's
the
dream
fucking
season.
turtle.
Yeah, why
When
would
they were
do
The
talking
turtle
that?
about
crowning
how-
was
Yeah.
insane.
That was a bad visual.
Why would they do that?
That editor.
I'm telling you, whoever the cameramen are that are assigned specifically to the animals need a raise.
Yeah.
They always find the best clips of animals. I don't know how.
I'll tell you how.
Set up out there.
On their free time, there's a bunch of animals around, and they'll just like
Nick, I'm telling you,
take
I mean,
20 minutes of B-roll.
we see crabs, snakes.
There's a lot of people I didn't recognize. And maybe, I don't know, like, is it just because, am I the only one there? Did you recognize a lot of people?
There was a lot of strangers.
I recognized the Bachelorettes that came down.
Speaking of, are Rachel and Brayden a thing?
I don't know.
I
don't
don't
think so.
know.
I don't.
Rachel
think
is on the season. The other Bachelorettes were just there for a cameo.
No, I know, but they were sitting next to each other on this show.
so. Who
and then
Rachel and Brayden?
Mhm.
Rachel and Brayden, and then there were
Yeah,
like
which
clips
means
of
there's no
them
shot that
at-
they were a thing.
Yeah, which means probably not.
Yeah, they wouldn't show them together.
Whoa, period.
Yeah.
Or they would do it like, it'd be like, but you think I wouldn't
But
take
you
the
think
glass
that they
you
wouldn't,
think it
so
would,
that
but-
they're doing it
I don't think they put that much
actually.
thought
It's
into
the
But I'll
Princess
tell you
Bride.
what, I suspect that Aaron, our boy Aaron, might be in a relationship. And the reason why is because it was like, hey, Aaron, are you heartbroken over Charity? All right, well, he's going to Paradise, everybody. Like, usually the person who's like top 3 at AFR, they will milk and be like, so like, are you still in love?
Yeah.
But they don't want any of that talk because Aaron might be in a relationship
love.
literally right now.
Mm-mm.
And
Isn't
so
that really fast, though? He flew to Fiji.
Yeah, what is
He
that
wanted
turnaround
to
time?
spend
Like,
his
he
life
flew to
with
It's
this
like-
Fiji
it's like
and
2.5
then literally got on a plane and flew to Mexico.
This is probably the similar
Not literally,
timeline to
but-
ours. So because obviously he's filming while their thing's airing still. I think from the wrapping up of our filming to when they were flying people out to Paradise was maybe 3 weeks.
It was a quick turnaround. Joey needs, and I know Joey got a haircut, but that part's got to go. He's got a haircut of an Oompa Loompa.
I think he pulls it off.
my
I think
God.
he looks good, and I think he pulls it off.
You think that
When it's
he's got a
taper, when it's
got a
short
great
and
head of hair.
tapered,
He's a
I
great-
think he pulls it
Yeah.
off.
You think that's his best haircut?
I mean, I don't know what his other options are. I haven't seen his Rolodex yet, but like, I like the way that looks on
I
him.
guess if it wasn't parted on the side and it was just all up.
But he
Can pull off the short and the
It would
flow.
kinda be
look
like
up
a
a
Matthew
picture of an Oompa
McConaughey.
Loompa.
That's not nice.
No, I'm kidding.
What?
Matthew McConaughey, I could see that, like the because they got similar hairstyles where it's like curly and.
Arthur McConaughey parts it back.
I know. I'm saying that could potentially
we
look
could just
good.
encourage a different part.
I feel like you probably have very strong opinions on this as a man with curly hair.
It's just not the
Like, I
best
feel
look.
like-
He's got a great head of hair.
That's crazy.
And I'm not. What would be
That's
nice for me?
not.
It's the curls at the bottom.
It's the curls.
It's the curls at the bottom.
It looks like, didn't do me any favors. Stand next to Dotun.
I do feel like Twitter seems to be incredibly excited about Joey. And I feel like they did a great job. It was good propaganda. I was like, Joey's little dreamboat. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like he's going to be one of the more kind of like excitable of America bachelors that we've seen in a while.
I wasn't excited about him until seeing him at AFR, and now I'm excited about him.
Yeah. Also,
He's very
his
sweet.
little moment where he's teary after the proposal and she's like, you're going to find someone. And he's like, I'm hopeful for that too. I was like, oh, baby boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that you just fed that line.
Oh, well,
But I do
it
think,
worked on me.
the moment of the butt.
Nick is such a pessimist.
Justin's not disagreeing.
Hey, listen, pal. It's not you. Get ready for your moment.
We're gonna help you out.
Yeah. Just think about the future. Just be hopeful.
Hey, even if it doesn't work out,
Be hopeful.
You see?
Just be hopeful.
You know what I'm saying?
It's possible.
mhm.
I do feel like the best advice you can give is like comfort the Bachelorette, because it was so sweet how much he was like not holding it against her. Like, I feel like you could tell he like wasn't processing in that moment. He was just like trying to make Charity feel okay, like as least shitty as she could feel.
I didn't see true heartbreak, and that's fine. We reward a guy who's like allegedly heartbroken, who acts like it's not that big of a deal. He's just,
But he said he blacked out. I can like understand.
Yeah, but even if you black out, I think if you're about to get down on a knee,
His eyes were wet a little bit.
to me, that's just, he really respected Charity, and he knew deep down that she was going to pick Dotun, and he went through the motions.
I did find it really cute when Dotun met Neil Lane, because as we've discovered, Dotun didn't even know the proposal was part of this show. I think he's very out of the loop of what this show is. And Neil Lane going, hi, I'm Neil Lane, and him introducing himself with his full name as well. And I was like, no, this is just an advertisement. Like, we don't need to exchange all of our contact information.
I love Dotun. He's a truly seems like a one of a kind, and I'm a huge Dotun fan.
I'm thinking about his grandma right now.
Mm.
I'm
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
about his
Yeah,
grandma
yeah,
and how
his family was
happy.
awesome.
Yeah, and how his parents flew back from Nigeria.
I just
Yeah,
love,
that was dope.
Dotun, he just articulated his emotions so well.
Mhm.
He really clearly spoke. He was willing to go deep and really give you thoughtful answers. I got nothing against Joey. Seems like a really sweet and nice guy, but he's just like every other nice guy who and again, maybe Joey's a great guy, but so many not great people, and I'm not suggesting Joey's not one of them because I've only heard wonderful things about Joey. But there are so many people who just come across as nice on the show, and they're fucking maniacs in real life.
Joey is very. Is he media trained? He's very good with his words. He's very well spoken.
Yeah.
This
He's
is
been dealing
obviously,
with these country club women, teaching them
Yeah.
tennis. He's got it.
I'm just reminded of Joey's uncle, who literally told us, America, that Joey is a people pleaser and he has a hard time being his most authentic self. And I want to see that authentic self that his uncle knows so well. And
You think he's got a mean streak?
I'm sure he's a great guy. I liked Dotun's authenticity.
Yeah. I mean, Dotun from literally week 2, I think.
When Joey was like, I can be a lot to date, as we all can. But I was like, well, what do you mean by that, Joey? Joey's so, to your point, Natalie, he's polished, and polish always gives me
Well, maybe him being the Bachelor will
I'm
open
sh-
him up a little bit.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
What did you think of the live portion? Leia, the person we will be seeing, and the envelope.
That was the dumbest.
I say,
Never-
is it an immunity idol? What is this show?
It's not a date card.
It's not a date card.
What is it?
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Am I looking into him emphasizing abs?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And she had the appropriate response, like, well, I don't want it anymore. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he did emphasize abs. Absolutely help you. Anyway, it's definitely not worth our time.
But I
I don't know,
kind of
but-
just feel bad for Blondie in the audience.
I did-
Imagine it's like
The life coach?
That was the first life coach I ever felt bad for.
50% chance
Yeah.
of getting on the show, and then you have to watch this other girl win and go up
Yeah.
on the stage.
Why
I'm like,
why could they
ouch.
both come?
Yeah.
Also, the tension in the room when she, like everyone was like rooting for her. It's like, oh, she's on live TV, and she's like, I'm a consultant, and now I'm a life coach, and everyone
We're
like
just like, oh.
palpable silence
Yeah.
of like, oh no.
who was our last life coach? Was it Carl?
Oh God.
No, it was.
He was. I think he was a
That was my
motivation.
season.
He was
Was
a.
Carl in
He's a
your
motivational speaker.
Oh,
Mm.
Very different.
By day, life coach by night.
oh.
Didn't we have a life coach last?
We did because we were using the Carl comparison of wow, so much better than Carl.
Yeah, they impressed almost.
Because we pulled up Carl's website back in the day, and his prices were through the roof.
They were high.
No way.
Yeah,
He
he
didn't.
was.
He didn't ever offer you a session.
I was never offered coaching.
Wow.
Wow.
What is your love life like, Justin?
A lot of fifth wheeling
Justin is looking for a girlfriend.
as of late. I am
Pitch us on the.
on what?
Are you really?
Yeah,
Because some
but-
might say, how could such a great-looking, nice, available, tall,
Yeah.
handsome? I don't know how much money you make, but you dress well.
Period.
You know,
Thanks, Nick.
how could you possibly be single unless you want to be? Because
Because
like
you want to fuck around.
because
No.
like you seem like the top 1% of 1%.
Because that's probably a nice thing I've ever heard you say to me. Thank you.
That's a Nick compliment right there.
Yeah, that seemed like
Yeah.
authentic too. We
Yeah.
don't get this.
No,
I'm gonna
no.
need that clip.
No, no.
Because
Yeah.
I don't.
These are rare.
We don't
a
get this
dime
much.
a dozen. You
Listen,
get these.
I don't throw out insincere compliments.
No.
Yeah,
you
that's
don't.
why I'm like, whoa.
And this is
My
why.
eyes about to wet up. Hold up now. But
Shut up.
it is very hard for me to fake interest, and I am very picky when it comes to dating someone seriously. Like I wouldn't be surprised if the next person that I genuinely seriously date is somebody that I marry, because I'm at a point now where I just don't have it in me. I don't have the energy or interest in like going on a couple of dates. Like this is fine, you know. Like yeah, we can be boyfriend. Like and not to say anything, like I have friends currently who are in relationships, and then they talk to me like, yeah, this isn't the one though. I'm like, what are you doing then?
Yeah.
We're avoiding the inevitable.
That is weird.
And it's just like you're wasting your time, their
People do
time, and
that.
the further you progress in that relationship is only going to hurt this other person who has no idea that they're about to be blindsided. And that's just not me. And so, I mean, couple that with moving to LA, maybe I'm looking in the wrong places, but it has been a little bit more difficult to find sincerity out here.
What's the quality that you would say, not necessarily the most important quality, but the quality where you'd say you're the most kind of like fine tooth comb of like finding people who really embody it, like kind of the most like rigorously examine a person.
That
for
I
you.
look for.
Yeah. Where it's like a lot of people maybe fall short or like aren't quite what you're looking for in that one specific area.
Yeah, I think, and I know I can be very complicated, and I know that, right? So I think it's someone who is kind of like that introverted, extroverted person like me, and that can kind of be social, but also like I always say like an X factor to me, and it might sound stupid, but like I need to be able to be in the same room with somebody and there be dead silence, and it's not an issue. Like we're comfortable, we're fine. Because I've been in relationships where it's like that's just my nature. Like I can be up here and social, whatever, but I can also literally be in a car, in a room, not say a single word, and it's like, what's wrong with you? Why are you mad? And it's like I'm good. It's like, well, why? Like this is my personality, like you know, and that is kind of rare. Like just having that comfort and that like. It doesn't need to be spoken type of understanding of each other is kind of hard to come by. Because I've dated people where it's like they're here all the time, and it's like I need to chill, or there's like they're way too low and monotone. It's like I need that banter as well. So finding somebody with that balance and understanding.
For the women who've had the pleasure of dating you, if I were to meet the last 10 women you've dated
10. Damn.
It hasn't
Man,
been
been
that many.
around.
It hasn't been that many.
that you went on a date with,
Mm-hmm.
what would be a common critique you think you would receive?
That I am hard to read.
What? I feel like you were famously the most reactive person to ever
That's
go on
what I
The
think.
Bachelorette.
I think it's very obvious when I'm interested and not interested.
Yeah, that's just like, that's when a guy is quiet and not interested and not talking. And that's when the girl goes, we're so hard to read. And he's just like, really?
I feel like I probably said that to you.
Well, that's when I was pretending not to like you.
Right. My favorite pastime.
What a time that was.
Well, I was, in fact, like, not letting you read me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
See,
I'm
I don't think I don't do that intentionally, but it's just like I think I have a tendency, or like, and I like, it's weird to say these things about myself, so I'm just going off of like what I've been told. I think that when I go on a date with somebody, like I've had very few awkward dates because I'll like take over. If it's awkward, like I'll talk to a brick wall and I can find something to talk about to take that awkwardness away from us. And so I think,
But then you get accused of talking too much or talking all about yourself.
No, it's
well, no,
just
not
when
about myself, just like
it's when
Yeah.
a date switches from a date to an Uber ride.
yeah.
Where you're like, I
Well,
know
I'm
how to
like,
be in this
at this point,
situation.
it's like,
I'm going to be
I-
nice. I'm
yeah.
going to get to know you. We're going to have
Exactly.
a good time.
Because if I don't, then this is going to be
Yeah.
tough to get
Right.
through.
Yeah.
And we got 3/4 of our drink left. Like, so it's
She's
like,
sipping slow.
yeah, it's
Is
like,
that because
wow.
like she is nervous or she doesn't like you?
I don't know,
or-
but after, so like in that exact instance, right? It's like, wow, like I feel really comfortable around you, and it's like I'm not that interested, but like I'm just. It is
I've
like,
just been doing
are
the
we not on the
legwork.
same
I'm
page? Yeah.
exhausted.
Allie, I
so
feel like you
easy to
say that
talk to
after
you.
all of your dates.
I do, because I'm like, I went on that one happy hour and I was like, all we talked about was fucking restaurants. And I felt so bad because he's so passionate about restaurants. I took down lists for restaurants in Atlanta. I've never been there. I don't have a trip booked. Like, I panicked.
So all the people who call up and be like, I had this really great first date and we talked all the time. Are you telling me that they could have been on a date with you and not realize that you were just being nice?
Or someone like Justin.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Perhaps, but then
I don't
and
mean
then-
it's actually Justin.
and that's
Well,
why.
the 10 last women that you dated has got to be one of the girls that call in. So, because you fuck them up.
Wait, whoa.
Well, we have a caller right here.
Yeah, I'm sweating.
I gotta go.
Were y'all talking when I went to the bathroom? What's going on here?
I'm just fucking with you.
I don't know, man. But I think I really, and I'd actually love your advice since you two are so happy and a great couple and obviously growing family, like you guys are doing it. Like, I feel like I don't want to take things off of my proverbial list, right? But like at a certain point, I'm like, all right, something's got to give.
What's on your list?
I don't think it's that much.
Let's hear the list. Yeah.
Fat ass.
He's like,
I
hold on.
That
5'8".
was the first thing that you thought was on
Like-
Justin's list.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
She
Not
makes
intellect,
6 figures.
Not intellect, like fat ass. That's crazy.
But just like the way, the like conviction
That
that came with it.
Oh,
It wasn't hesitant.
It's,
You ever
it's
seen
from
it?
Heat.
Heat. Yes, thank you.
It's from
Derek.
Heat.
It's from Al
Okay, he was quoting
Pacino.
a movie.
Oh my
Got
god.
a big ass. I'm like, I don't know.
Derek.
It's a
You should do
very
impressions
famous
more.
movie.
Thank you, Derek.
Thanks for the save.
Oh my God.
It's from critically acclaimed Michael Mann film Heat. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Okay, what's on the list? Walk us through it.
In no particular order. Intellect, selflessness is huge for me. Down to earth, just spontaneity. Obviously, physical attraction, like banter.
What do you want in common with your love? What do you want to enjoy doing with her?
Spontaneity is huge. Like I do not like to be in a routine where it's like.
Couldn't date us.
I mean,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Like
They
I don't
gotta
mean
do
like
the
I don't mean
same
like
thing
every
like
day we gotta go
clockwork.
zip lining. You know what I mean? Like no, but it's like it's just like I may be overgeneral. Like it could be the little things, right? Like some of my favorite times in relationships are like we made dinner, we're sitting watching a movie, and it's like, I'm gonna go get ice cream. Down. Like just random, like you know what I mean? Like fun stuff. Like I love stuff like that.
I don't know. It sounds like you're describing Susie.
Really walked into that. We do get frozen yogurt at the drop of a dime, but that's a dear friend of mine. Andrew
Yeah.
already. That's it. You had Andrew on here,
Yeah, they're just friends.
but we can't be too.
He made it seem like maybe he was stepping aside.
I was trying to do my friend a solid and just take the back seat.
How many people are in the back seat right now?
Both of y'all are trying to help each other out.
I'm observing from afar. We make a lot of videos together. That sounded.
Oh,
That sounded insane.
Coming soon.
That sounded insane.
Viall Files Plus.
Viall Files.
I meant like.
Justin, Susie, sex.
I meant like for ads and like Russell Martinez
No,
stuff.
for sure. No, for sure. For
You know what I
sure.
mean?
The best part is Viall Files Plus is audio only.
Yeah, it's
yeah, I
audio
just want to
only.
hear it. It's an MP3 of Justin and Susie.
Oh my God. Just kidding, Susie. We love you.
AKA.
We
He
love
knows
you. Okay, so you want to have spontaneity.
Maybe in the form of filmmaking.
That's
Nuts. That is nuts.
Hey, you want to make a quick vid? I'll take off my clothes.
Hey, what do you think?
I'm down.
Down.
Spontaneity.
That's the kind of love I need.
My thing about spontaneity though is I think everybody's pretty spontaneous when you're dating. Like I feel like I know exactly what you mean because like
no, there's some boring, bland people.
You've dated a girl when y'all are watching TV and you've been like, want to go get ice cream? And she's like, no. let's just
Actually,
say
yeah,
it.
100%, 100%.
But how was her ass?
Not fat.
Damn.
Not fat enough for me to stay.
2 strikes and you're out, bitch.
Not fat enough for me to stay. Said no fat ass. And you want to get ice cream? Do you guys have anybody in mind for me?
No.
You know,
It's like, yeah, I said all those nice things, but you are undateable.
You're the 1%
I would
of
never,
the 1%.
1% of 1%,
No.
but I would never set you with one of my friends.
I don't like setting people up in general, and I hate setting up.
That puts a lot.
Guys
of pressure.
hate being set up in general, and I don't like setting up my guy friends, especially someone like yourself. And I mean this sincerely. It's like you are, like, at least on paper, a great fucking catch, and it would just be hard for someone not to just even think they're falling in love with you. So I just would hate to like
set someone up and then
and
we're
then
in the
they fall
blame
in
because
love
they
and
fell in
like,
love.
why
and
did you try to call me
But
back?
here's-
And I'm like, I
I-
don't fucking know.
And maybe you can offer some advice how to be more straightforward, but I will say that anyone that I go on a date with, whatever, before there's like I try to be as clear as possible with how I'm feeling, where I'm at.
Yeah. Do you still have
And-
sex with them?
Whoa.
Sex? What's that?
I've never heard of it.
Huh?
What could you explain what
Who?
that?
Y'all?
Did y'all hear something?
Huh? think
I
my
was just
headphones
talking
out.
about after the second date.
About
what
being
that next
upfront.
You fuck
conversation
after the
is.
second date?
No, I am not that easy. Period.
Okay.
Gotta
said
give me
you
some ice cream
You
first.
better work for it.
Gotta give me a scoop of cookies and cream first.
Like I'm just like maybe this doesn't have anything to do with you, but like how upfront can you be about like not being serious if you're gonna have sex?
I don't think the two have to be mutually exclusive.
No, but shit, I tried that move with Natalie, but she fell in love. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Please.
Dang, play it. But no,
I'm just saying, like, but in all seriousness, like, yeah, in hookup culture, we like to have sex and take off our clothes and everyone's fucking, but like, it is hard to convince someone that you can't be like, hey, I'm not looking for anything serious right now, and then have a great date and
Well, no-
carry the conversation, and then
Go
like,
home and
well, I
sleep
guess
with
we could
them.
so I think
and
it's
it gets confusing.
no, it could be the opposite order, right? So like if you go on a date with somebody, the feeling is mutual and you both are at like I'm the type like I as much as you may not believe it, Nick, I never impose anything physical like that. Isn't like I have no expectation. Like I can have a great date.
Oh, I
go
believe
home, like,
that
I don't
your
care.
dick is like just running into like as much sex as it can handle. I don't think you're trying.
Damn.
Can I get through my soliloquy?
It's like I'm not even trying to have sex. I believe it.
No, he's saying
my-
that he
like,
doesn't. No,
yeah, so it's
I hear
never
you.
like it's never like well, we had sex because you want like no, like it was like I could not care less. I've actually
What are you
been in
trying to say?
situations where like literally
that
not
sex
too long.
isn't that important.
It's not my priority.
That's not that what he goes into
And-
the date looking for is sex.
Yeah, and I
But
think you're
does it happen?
no. Sometimes there have been like I've gone on a date, come back over, watch the movie. Hey, I'm getting tired. I've had people leave and be like, "Why'd you have me come back if we weren't going to do anything?" Like, "Whoa, I thought we were having a good time," you know. And it's just
Okay.
like, so if it does get to a physical point, it was by all means a mutual decision, right? And I think that the conversation of what are we now can happen after that. I don't think it always has to come before physical intimacy.
Doesn't have to.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have to.
It just can complicate things. We've learned on the show.
You point at me.
We, the household. We talk to a
Someone
lot of
wanna
people.
speak up?
We.
Take this off of me.
We talked to a lot of people where those conversations would have served them well prior.
Well, I think that it's like a self-awareness thing. And I think it's just hard because I think people feel like the right answer is to be like, no, it's fine. I'm chill. Like, I just want to explore.
The chill girl epidemic.
Yeah.
So are you
cool
are you
girl.
suggesting that it should be like a hey whoa before you do that? I don't see anything serious here. Like
What do you mean?
like is that what I should be doing? Like if I'm the type of person, which I'm telling you, like I don't care, like I'm chilling, whatever. And let's say that she
You meet someone.
Yes, and she would like to take it there. Should I be like, even if I'm not sure, like, hey, I'm not sure where we're going with this. I'm not sure. Just heads up.
I think in general, if someone gives you the impression that they might be interested in you and you have to explain how your feelings might not match theirs and try to reset expectations, then I think it's a bit selfish to have sex with them.
'Cause I've been on the other side where afterwards I was very much so interested. Never heard from him again.
Yeah,
Like, it
listen,
happens
Sometimes
both
you
I-
don't know until
I
after.
think-
Yeah, you know, well,
I think the fuckboys are on both sides of the aisle. Yeah. And that's also true. Most of the time, you don't know until after. How do you
Yeah.
really know? You know? But that's especially if you only especially if that's after 2 dates.
yeah, I think the biggest
People
hurdle
used
for
to date for forever
Oh,
and get to know each other.
I think the biggest
Yuck.
hurdle for me lately has been I cannot do long distance, and there have been people that I've very much so been interested in, but not
They're flying
geographically.
all the time, man.
Right, but like that doesn't mean that I want to kick it on a Wednesday. Like this rainstorm we had, I would have loved to have a little snuggle and
Okay.
but, you know, but I'm like sitting there, pillow's gonna have to do. Like I'm very much so an in-person quality time. You know, like Sunday, let's go to Melrose Post and do cool stuff like that.
Well, I mean, you're still
Well,
young and
that
good-looking.
Melrose Trading Post happens every single Sunday, so you could fly someone out for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
weekend.
Every single Sunday.
Every single Sunday, Melrose Trading Post.
I also think that people like that I don't know, like being from like the East Coast, like I feel like I tend to get along really well with people from the East Coast, like Northeast or like Midwest kind of thing. And I found that like the
Aw.
people in LA that I like vibe with the most are like people from New England or people like my boyfriend's from St.
Exactly.
Louis who like ended up here where
Yep.
it's like I get along with the people who are from the same place as me who also ended up in California more
Mhm.
so than I just get like along with the
100%.
general population back there. So I think
Yeah.
even though it's like harder to meet, I
See,
think
we're there, Baltimore. We're there. We're there.
So
There
are
you
you looking for
Minnesota.
when you go on? Is that like a question? Where are you from? You know, like does that matter to you?
It does. Yeah. Does it matter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because and again, I'm not to rule anything out because I could meet somebody tomorrow from Minnesota who I just have not met anyone that I felt that deeply about that I'm like, okay, I'm willing to get over the distance thing. I haven't met
Mhm.
anyone that
You should try this out.
has been worth it there for me. Not to say that I couldn't meet somebody.
How old are you again?
29.
Damn. Sorry. I'm sorry.
That's crazy. That's
sorry.
so crazy.
No, I meant
No,
Damn.
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 29.
It is hot in here.
Do we have anything left to talk about the Bachelor finale?
Why we're all gathered here today.
Hmm.
Well, now there's going to be on Thursdays.
oh yeah.
Oh, right.
Larry
after,
and
yeah. How do we
Paradise
feel about
Barry
that?
in Paradise on
Are
Thursdays.
people going to sit through 3 hours? Every
Can't.
Thursday?
They can't. There's no way.
That's tough.
I
Full-time job.
That's a lot of Bachelor.
I also think
We will still, for anyone who is interested, our reality recaps will still be on Tuesdays. So we'll watch Paradise on Thursdays, and you'll wait till Tuesday for us to talk about
I
it.
think it's so funny. Like, you know, obviously we haven't seen the season of Golden Bachelor, but like you go through like an hour of wholesomeness. It's like, all right, let's
Yeah,
get
which
rowdy.
which one's
Yeah.
first? Is Gary first?
Gary first, then Paradise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when does that start? Did they give us a
Premieres on my birthday.
September 28th.
Are you planning anything for Nick's birthday?
I asked him, so I threw him a big party last year because he wrote a book and turned
Didn't
a year
write a book
older.
this
So
year,
that was like,
so-
no. That was
no
the
book,
theme.
no party.
That was the theme. Was like Nick wrote a book and turned a year older. But this year,
Nick's gonna be a dad.
Nick's that too.
Ooh.
He's gonna be a husband?
Nick, also that.
Ooh. So this should be an
Nick's
even
on a
bigger
show.
party.
Yeah,
Nick's on a
because the
show.
show comes out 3 days before.
The show comes out on the 25th, Special
Come on
Forces. So it's like Nick's on a show and turned a year older.
So what you're saying is you've got something extravagant planned.
No, I don't. I don't have anything planned. He's honestly not a very big birthday person. The first year we were together, I didn't live here, and he just like
Had Chinese food with Ashley.
with
and Jared.
Ashley and Jared. The
Oh,
second year we were in New York, and I planned a birthday dinner and drinks on a yacht.
That was nice.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
Podcast
like
is doing extremely well. Wow.
real.
actually put it in my pocket.
How did you buy a yacht?
Oh, I didn't buy one. No,
I know
you like go on and have drinks on it.
My
It's not
friend
like
was your
you buy
waitress.
it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love her.
Shout out
her.
Julia.
And then this third year was the party. So I don't know what we'll
If
do.
you guys
for
don't have
the-
any plans, you want to go to like Din Tai Fung or something?
Fuck yeah. I'd love to go to
Yeah.
Din Tai
You
Fung
should.
with you on my
Oh
birthday.
my god, can you rent out Din Tai Fung?
He says,
Not
"Slow your
that
roll."
rich.
Maybe just like a table. I can like reserve
Maybe
a
a
table.
table.
No reservations.
I'll get there early.
no reservations at Din Tai Fung.
I'll get there early. Hold the table for 8. My
Okay.
birthday's before next, so you're gonna ask him if he has anything planned for me. You can.
When's yours?
August 31st. Soon.
We'll be in New York. I took her to New
Next
York.
week.
Yeah.
The week after.
That'll
Yeah.
be fun.
Yeah.
Is New York where you guys like relived all the first date spot?
Yeah.
New York is where we met in person,
That's
so that's
dope.
always like our little rendezvous.
Iconic.
Iconic.
Do we have anything else to talk about when it comes to the charity season? I mean, other than like charities, follow your gut, girl.
Congrats to the happy couple.
Congrats. Good luck on Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thriving.
I think Joey's really going to get the hype. I think people are going to be like
He is a good looking dude.
really, really excited. And maybe it will all fall to pieces, but I have hope that this will revitalize the franchise a little bit.
I don't know if enough people watched. He seems nice.
Yeah.
All
Ben
right.
Higgins vibe.
He does have some Ben Higgins. He's just not as tall.
Joey?
I think it's Ben Higgins.
He has
Which is-
more Jason
That's
Tardik
That's
vibes.
her like gold star of approval.
No,
Right.
it's I
That is
realized
true.
I was
She's
like,
Ben
no, I
Higgins.
was like Ben Higgins. Like I think I would embarrass him. Like I think he would make me embarrassed of my sense of humor, and that's not a knock on
Oh.
him. But I think I would feel like I was too much with him. I've actually reflected a lot since I started this job.
Not your type anymore.
No, I still think he's a cutie pie, but
Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Keep
That's
going.
funny.
Justin, you're making her feel like she's too much. Take it back.
Yeah.
Like,
it's okay. I have a
No.
boyfriend. I'm happy. It's all good.
I still think he's a cutie pie.
he is,
fuck him.
But fuck him.
but not for me. For someone else.
Well, he's
For
married
Jess.
now.
For Jess Clark.
All right. Well, I think it's time to wrap it up. What a season, Charity. Dotun, congratulations on your love. I hope it lasts forever.
Yes.
Good luck on Dancing with the Stars. We hope it goes swell. And Justin, thank you for joining us. Where can the people find you?
What?
Hinge.
6, 7, 8.
No, not on Hinge. Oh, yeah, it's
At-
just at Justin Glaze for my Instagram.
There you go.
At Justin_Glaze for my TikTok.
Okay.
Making it a little bit more spicy.
There we
Some
go.
videos.
If you want
He's
some more
making
spice,
videos.
he's making
If you want the
videos.
You want to see
Yeah.
him and Susie?
Should I
We'll be
release the
here
drafts?
on Thursday with friend of show Teddy Mellencamp. I'm sure we'll be talking lots of Bravo. We'll probably get into Bethenny with Teddy. What other pop culture topics are we going to be talking about with Teddy, possibly?
Britney Spears divorce.
Oh, Britney
Yeah.
Spears divorce. Yeah, for sure.
We have Jack Antonoff's wedding to unpack.
And the
Taylor
Taylor
Swift.
Swift look-alike who's now hiring
Oh,
fake
that's
security
so
guards
weird.
to pretend
Yeah.
to look like Taylor.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, we'll be back on Thursday. Lots to get into. Don't miss it. Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.